Well, hello, and as always a very, very warm welcome to Garden Club. It's really good to be with you. Here we are, the beginning of June, the start of official summer. And I can tell you the gardens are just bursting with summer delights. So many wonderful, wonderful things are happening in the garden. It's a time of plenty. A time of plenty. So, what are we going to do today? Well, first of all, let me show you how things are doing amongst the plants that we've already put in together. Some that I've got back at base that I'm looking after for some of you, and others you'll have them back yourselves so you can see them. But let me show you how some of those lovely things, the mimulus and schizanthus and things are doing. Let's go over there now. Here we are, look, you've got the schizanthus. I love schizanthus. It's the most beautiful early summer flower. Really, really lovely. The poor man's orchid, they call it, which is a really silly name because it's not poor anything, as I've said before. So these won't flower for all that long, but they're absolutely beautiful whilst they do. And we've sown some more for later in the season so we can enjoy some later on as well. Your petunias are beautiful. Some of you of course have them back with you, and I'm looking after others back at base. So there we are, lovely petunias. And your beautiful lobelia, this lovely dark coloured lobelia. Crystal Palace, this one is called. And these will bloom for quite a long time. They'll go right through the summer, as will these lovely French marigolds, which are looking gorgeous. And here we are, look, the mimulus. Now your mimulus won't flower for all that long, but whilst they're out, again, they're absolutely lovely. Now yesterday we had the bees on these. The bees were all over this. Isn't that a lovely thing? We sowed these together in the quite dark, cold days of February when it was awfully wet, if you remember. And the bumblebees will have been hiding, and the honeybees. But now, here we are, they're in full bloom, and the bees are all around it. It's nice to think, isn't it, that we did something that is good for the bees. Really lovely. So, let's see what we're going to plant today, and go over and do that now. So, now to plant some begonias. The begonias are the very, very, very first thing we sow at the beginning of January every year. So the first time we got together as Garden Club, we would have sown these begonias, and look how well they're coming on. They're really great. Always the first thing that we sow, always, together with the blue lobelia, but we sowed those second on that day. So these were the very first thing that we sowed. And almost invariably, they're the very last thing we take away from the summer show. The first and the last. Begonia semperflorens. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So we'll just divide those up. Take a knife, just cut through and divide them. Because we need a few of these in here. There we are. And divide them again. Like this. That'll do. There we are, and there we are, and there we are again. So let's we'll put a white one in the middle, because white one's perhaps the unusual one. So we'll put that there, and then we'll put some nice coloured ones around the outside. That'd be good. Begonia. So many different kinds of begonias. These, you know, the ones with the small flowers. The other ones with the big tuberous ones as well. So in they go. These will be lovely. And they're going to bloom for ages and ages and ages. You know, we're putting in 5 of these because that's, as you know, so often we plant 5 together. And you can see at the moment there's 5 little plants in here. But given only a very few weeks, you won't be able to see how many plants there are. They'll grow into one beautiful floriferous mass. So there we are, Begonia semperflorens. This variety is Devon Gem, and it's by far our favourite variety of this type of begonia. Begonia semperflorens, Devon Gem. Lovely. So here we are, the pot's all set. Now I'm the first to admit that mesembryanthemums are not the easiest things to plant, because they always have very slender stems, and they kind of trail about the place. I always think when you first plant them out, they look a bit untidy, and you think to yourself, why do I bother to plant these? Well, I do. But wait a week or two and you know absolutely why you plant them out, because they're exquisitely beautiful. I love the colours. I'm rather fond of it. I love outrageous colours. I mean, the wonderful, simple, wildflower colours are, I suppose, a wonderful favourite as well. I mean, you know, the wild primrose, what a wonderful thing that is. And of course, as many of you know, my favourite plant of all are the sweet peas, and of course they're wonderfully delicate colours. But these outrageous colours as well are wonderful. So there we are. That's a little mesembryanthemum plant, Livingstone daisy from South Africa, from sort of dry areas of South Africa, and we'll pop these in. Again, we're going to plant 5 of these, as we do with practically everything we plant, apart from the things we plant in 3s and 4s, if that makes any sense. Not really, does it? Never mind. Right, there's 2. They've gone in quite nicely. And you see actually what a slender stem that has, how it just sort of flops about the place. But that's the nature of them, so that's okay. There you are, that's 3. And we'll just manage to ease 2 more in. Look, you've got one coming into flower there. The sun isn't fully on them yet, so today, so they're not fully out, but they will. If we keep deadheading these, and it's quite important actually to keep deadheading them, they will flower for a reasonable amount of time. Again, not for all that long, but they are gorgeous whilst they're out. Early summer, and then we've got so many other lovely things for late summer, so that's okay. There we are. There's a pot. That looks quite neat and tidy actually, doesn't it? As I say, they can be a bit of a muddle, but that'll do. That'll do nicely. Lovely. Mesembryanthemums, Livingstone daisies. You can tell the time by them. We'd certainly tell the weather by them as to whether they're open or closed. Lovely. Well, there we are. Something from Garden Club for this week. And with everything in the garden in full throttle now, because we're in June, let me leave you with some lovely images of the plants that are blooming at the minute, and particularly this time some of the roses. June really is the month of the rose, and although I was able to show you the first rose blooming, I think back at the end of April, believe it or not, here we are now. Now it's really rose time. So I'll leave you with that, and I really look forward to connecting with you again in this way next time. So in the meanwhile, take care, and goodbye for now. Bye bye.